Hello, and welcome back to Chapter 3 of our elementary course at Ars Academic. And this chapter is titled The World of Movies. So, looking into the world of films, the different genres, and some films that you might like and not like, and having questions thereafter on these different types of films. So, without taking any much more time, let us just dive into the course and have a look at the first slide after the title. Okay, so on our very first slide, we have a warm-up, and we are asked if we can complete the box with the different type of films in less than 3 minutes. Okay, so if you take a look at the box, two options have already been filled in for you. It is science fiction and romantic comedy. Okay, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 other spots. So I want you to pause the video and you're going to think of 7 other genres. They can be anything, ones that you like, maybe even ones you do not like. And once you have filled them in, I want you to restart the video and we will proceed with the lesson. Okay, so welcome back, and I take it that you filled in all different types of genres that you are interested in, and now I'm going to give you some genres so you have an idea of how to fill them in. Okay, so the first genre that was given to us by Ars Academic is science fiction, and with science fiction we also have romantic comedy as a second. And you could fill in any one. I'm just going to give you some as a guideline. So I've chosen horror. I've also chosen thriller, which is going to be number 4. For number 5, I've chosen comedy. Okay. And number 6, I've chosen mystery. Number 7, I've chosen action. Number 8, I've chosen adventure. And number 9, I've chosen fantasy. So as I've said, these are just guides. You could have any other genres that I've not mentioned. We are now given another statement at the bottom, and it says to think of an example for each type. So they want you to think of an example of each type of film which are related to the genres. So once again, I want you to take a few minutes, just pause the video, and you can come back and restart once you have thought of a film that fits into each of the genres you choose. I am going to continue with answers, and I'm going to give you the films I've chosen specific to my genre. So remember, there are no right or wrong answers when coming to this. See you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the course, and we are going to continue. For the genre of science fiction, I've actually chosen The Invisible Man. It's a sort of newly released movie, maybe about a year or so, and it totally fits the science fiction genre. With regards to romantic comedy, I've chosen a film that's a little bit older, or quite a bit older, and it's called She's All That. So you could fill in something else, provided that it fits into the genre over here. Now going on to 3. Remember, we have different genres, so you can have your own films, but for number 3, I had horror, and I've chosen Insidious. It's a movie that came out in 2010 and fits the genre perfectly. For number 4, I've chosen thriller, and my film was Scream, a film that came out in the 90s, really popular, especially if you're into horror and thriller. If not, you might have missed it. Okay, moving on, I've then chosen for my comedy, which was number 5, the movie Vacation, which came out about 5 years ago. It's really hilarious, so if you're into comedies, you might want to check that out. Moving on to box 6, I've chosen mystery, and for mystery, I've chosen a film called Secret in Their Eyes. Okay, going on to 7, I've had action, and this one is one you've probably heard of, even if you have not watched it. So I've chosen Spider-Man. Moving on to number 8, another popular film came out somewhere in the 90s, and it was called Dr. Dolittle, about a doctor who could speak with animals. A really good film, and you might want to check that out as well, if you haven't already. The last genre, I've chosen fantasy, and this is another popular film, Harry Potter. And yes, those are my 9 choices. Yours could vary depending on the genre you all have chosen, And without further ado, let's move on. Okay, going on to B, speaking. We are asked to discuss the questions with partners, family members. So you can discuss it with your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, boyfriend, your friends, online friends, and if you have nobody that you can discuss them with, you can also just simply answer them on your own. Okay, so I'm going to read through these questions once. I am going to ask you to then pause the video. You can read through the questions on your own once, twice, as many times as you want, and then I want you to answer these questions. And after that, I am going to go through them with you and give you just my personal answers, okay? Remember, no right or wrong answers with these either. I'm just going to go through them afterwards as a guide. So let's get on. How often do you watch films? This is our first question. And this can vary, dependent on the person. Okay, what are your favorite type of films? Do you like action, horror, mystery? Okay, who is your favorite foreign actor or actress? So yes, someone out of your country. So if you are, for instance, living in America, you can choose any other country apart from America. Moving on to the next question, who is your favorite actor slash actress from your country? So yes, if you're from America or one of the countries that has a big film industry, this should be something that's easy for you. Moving on to the next question, do you have a favorite director? So who's your favorite director? You could have a favorite director depending on the cinema, so where it's from. You could have a favorite USA director, you could have a favorite director from France, Britain, India, and so on. Okay, to the last question. Do you like watching films at home on TV or in the cinema? Now this is dependent on the person. So I want you to now pause the video, read through these questions on your own, and formulate your answers, and I'll see you here once you're done. Okay, welcome back. Now, let's go through the questions. How often do you watch films? Now, some people might watch films every day. They might watch films every second day, every 5 days, every 10 days, and some people hardly watch films. They are so picky or fussy when it comes to the type of films they like that they would only choose something that's really highly rated, and maybe if everyone has watched it and is really talking about it, they might show an interest in it. Some people really don't like films at all. They might prefer series, or they might prefer reading or some other hobbies. And you get people who watch a lot of films, so they could be A grade films, B grade, C grade. They're not totally concerned about the budget. They are just the type of people who probably think, hey, the film doesn't have to have a good budget or a good director, it just needs a good story. So they sort of try everything out, and this includes independent films and stuff. And they sort of figure out this based on their own likes and dislikes instead of maybe just following ratings and so on. So this one, dependent on which type of person you are, you could have answered it in any way. The next question, the favorite types of films. What are your favorite types? And this depends on the genres that you like. Some people are open-minded and like all genres and would watch all genres. Some people watch specific genres, so you would have answered the question according to which type of person you are. The next one, who is your favorite foreign actor or actress? So depending on where you like films from, some people just watch maybe Hollywood films, for example, and they do not watch anything maybe external, whilst others could watch a variety of films from all around the world. So my personal favorite foreign actor is Amitabh Bachchan. He's from the Bollywood film industry. Actress, I would say, is probably Deepika Padukone, also from the Bollywood and the South Indian film industry. Now, I just want to clear that when I say Bollywood, it doesn't refer to the entire Indian film industry. It's just one certain part, which is the ones made in the Hindi language. Okay, moving on. Who is your favorite actor, actress from your country? If you are living in the USA, this one is great for you because there is a variety, so much that you can choose from. The next question, do you have a favorite director? So my personal favorite is Wes Craven. I love the horror and thriller that he does direct, you could obviously have picked anyone that you all like, and you all have your reasons for that. Moving on to the last question. Do you like watching films at home, on TV, or in the cinema? And this also varies dependent on the person. Some people may like watching on TV because they can snuggle up in their blankets, or they have the comfort of their home just to relax and watch. They could make whatever snacks they like, while others prefer going to the cinema and having cinema-style popcorn and all of that and watching it on the big screen. Okay, so now taking a look at C, exercise, and it asks us to answer the true and false statements and also give a reason. So we are faced with 10 statements, and I want you to take a look at them. I'm going to read through them with you firstly, and then I want you to obviously pause the video, read through them as many times as you'd like for clarity, and then you are going to answer whether they are true or false, and yes, give a reason as well. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Films are the same length of time as series. Number 2. Films require more time to produce than radio advertisements. Moving on to number 3. Cinema was born in America. Number 4. Nigerian cinema produces the most amount of films per year. Number 5. All films are given the same budget when produced. Number 6. All films make it into the cinema. Number 7. Film is another word for movie. Number 8. Everybody loves films. Number 9. Films are exactly the same across the world. And number 10. The Bollywood film industry is British cinema. Okay, so read through these on your own and then restart the video. And I will see you then. I take it that you have read through the statements and you have answered them, and now I'm going to proceed with giving you the answers so you can correct your answers and continue through the exercises. Okay, number 1, films are the same length of time as series. Now this are false, and the reason why this is false is because films are generally longer. Series are shorter and they have a couple of episodes, while film is just all together in one and can be anything between 1 hour and 20 minutes up to 3 and 4 hours depending on the industry that the films come from. Okay, so number 2, films require more time to produce than radio advertisements. So if you look at the length of a radio advertisement, it could be about under a minute, maybe a little bit over depending, but usually they are very short. There's no need for videos, and that's another reason why this statement is true. Films require more time, there's video, there's editing, there's so much radio advertisements as well have editing, but they do not have any film to cut out or scenes to add in with regards to video, and a film is way longer. So this is true. Okay, number 3, cinema was born in America. Now, the statement is false. Cinema was actually born in France, more specifically Paris. Number 4, Nigerian cinema produces the most amount of films per year. The statement is false. Nigerian cinema produces the second most amount of films per year. The film industry that produces the most is the Indian film industry. Now, a little bit of clarity on this. Bollywood is just one sector of the Indian film industry, and there's many other sectors in there. Okay, so let's take a look at number 5. All films are given the same budget when produced. Now this is totally false. If you look at the quality of some films that are produced, there's a reason why they are rated like A-grade films, B, C, and so on, because generally if they're A, they have a big budget, a lot of sponsorships, and also this varies between the B's and C's. It depends on how much money they have. And this does affect the quality of film, because if they have a smaller budget, generally this can be seen. Not that small budget films are not good, but you can see the difference in the type of quality. So they all do not have the same budget. This is false. Going on to number 6. all films make it into cinema. This is completely false. Some do and some do not. Number 7, film is another word for movie. Yes, these are used interchangeably, so this is true. Number 8, everybody loves films. This is false. Not everybody like watching films. Some people like just reading, or they might have other hobbies. Some like watching a few films that are highly rated, and others can watch everything. Independent films, all different types, and then they pick what they like. But what's false is that everybody loves films. That's completely false. Okay, moving on to number 9. Films are exactly the same across the world. Now, this is false. While they might have similarities, maybe in story and so on, or maybe characters, as you move on to different types of cinema, you will notice the difference and something special from each type of cinema that is particular to that type of culture. So this statement is completely false. Looking at number 10, the Bollywood film industry is British cinema. No, the Bollywood film industry, this is false. It is a segment of Indian cinema, and it definitely is not British cinema. So check through your answers, and I've given you the corrections, and then we can move on to the final slide of chapter 3. Okay, it says complete the text, exercise D, and we have a text here as you can see, and we have to complete it, fill in the blanks, and within the brackets we're given sort of an insight on how to fill in the blanks. Okay, so I'm going to read through it quickly. I watch films about, and wants you to say how often you watch this. So it can vary from person to person, and I usually watch them. Where do you watch them? A number of places that you watch them, and with this I don't need to sort of give you corrections because it's something that's totally dependent on you, where you watch them. My favorite actor is, so you can pick an actor from any sort of cinema, foreign cinema, local cinema, and so on, because the reason why you like him. Maybe he's a strong person. Maybe he plays a lot of different roles. Maybe it could be his haircut. Maybe you think he could be good looking. And my favorite actress is, you once again can pick someone from any film industry because maybe she has a strong character. Maybe she is someone who never gives up. Maybe, once again, she plays tons of different roles. Every film or movie of hers is completely different, and this is something that stands out to you. I generally prefer, so the types you prefer. With me personally, I prefer horror because I am a writer and I write horror as well. You could prefer any genre. I don't like, you could not like any genre once again. You might not like horror because it's too scary. You might not like romance because it's too sad, or any reason. It's totally dependent on you. And because that's the reason why you don't like it. And yes, with me personally, I do not like recent comedy films because I feel like they rely on these silly tactics to sort of get people to laugh, and it really doesn't work. In my opinion, I feel like the films from the 90s, the comedies back then, were a lot more funnier. And lastly, we are asked, a film I particularly like is about. So you're going to describe a film. So I'll give you an example. Mine, I would say it's Insidious, the horror film I've mentioned earlier in the course. And I like it because it's about a boy who sleeps. And while he sleeps, he's able to go. So his soul is able to go through different parallel universes and stuff. And if he doesn't get back in time, another entity can go into his body. So I just found that topic interesting. You can write about a film that you liked and why you found it interesting. Okay, so that brings us to the end of chapter 3. It was so wonderful having you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next chapter. But for now, I'm going to say bye. So bye and see you soon.